Peace, love, harmony, and light. What's good, my brothers and sisters? I know it's been a minute. As you know, YouTube has restricted me from doing any live feeds, any live videos. So I guess whenever that restriction is lifted, then I will continue to make the live videos. But at the end of the day, they cannot stop me from bringing out the knowledge to my people, because like I said, there's work to be done. And we are living in some dire times. Also, we are living in a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time because the American Aborigine needs to step up now, not tomorrow, but today. Every single day you should be doing something towards the advancement of the American Aborigine. There are a lot of things that are going on that concerns me, and my brothers and sisters, I'm disappointed. I'm drained. I'm tired. I get hurt sometimes, and I'm not going to give up. No, that's not in my nature, because I have found my purpose and I am going to live my purpose. Like I always tell you guys before, the worst thing, there is something that's a little more tragic than death, because death is not real. So the worst thing or the hardest thing in life is not to die. But the hardest thing in life is to live your life without knowing your purpose, without finding your purpose. And even worse, living your purpose. And I have found my purpose, and therefore I'm living my purpose. And with that being said, I am very grateful that there are a lot of people who are actually, just waking up to the knowledge, being aware of who we are, and they're spreading the knowledge. But our people have to be very mindful, have to be careful, okay, when they are delivering the message, because yes, they are speaking truth, but the interpretation of the truth could be detrimental. It could be catastrophic. And what I mean by that is the colonizers, the invaders, okay, they have thought of this game 50 moves ahead. Years ahead, okay? And for some reason, whichever way we turn, we seem to be falling right back into their trap. And a lot of brothers and sisters are waking up, yes, but they are falling right back into the trap of the colonizers with all the labels. So let me make a few things clear, all right? And the reason why I'm doing this video, because it's very alarming. It concerns me. Okay, because the divide and conquer is real, and our people are falling back into that trap. There are a few videos that's surfacing on YouTube, and there's one particular brother. I'm not going to call any names, but there are a couple of them, and maybe a couple sisters as well. All right, that speak of us being Aborigines, aka American Indians, and what it means, and talking about the 2020 census and talking about taxes. Okay. Well, let me break down a few things for you, because these people are going to lead you right back again into the entrapment set up by the colonizers. My brothers and sisters, this web of games is real, and it's deep, and you have to be very mindful and cautious how you proceed, because you will fall right back into, again, that trap. So what does it mean to be an Aborigine? An American Aborigine, what does it mean to me? It means that I was sprung from this land. It means that I am a descendant of the original Americans. So therefore, I am an American Aborigine. I'm an autochthon American Aborigine, sprung from the land of the Americas. So breaking down the concept of Indians, we didn't call ourselves Indians, okay? Indians is a term that was given to us by the colonizers, by the invaders. And a lot of our people are playing that game. All right. And it's going to cause problem, because it's a divide and conquer tactic. You feel me? We didn't call ourselves that. Yes, granted, we identify as that because there may have been some treaties that were signed with the invaders or the colonizers, using that term or that definition, Indian, but we didn't call ourselves that. I'm certainly sure it was a battle and a struggle as well, and our ancestors resisted from being called Indians. But eventually, it looked like, we agreed to that term, universally, meaning that the indigenous people of this land agreed to be called Indians. Now, the reason why I'm bringing all that is because the video or videos or sequence of videos that are going around is telling American Aborigines that when they do the census, they have to be careful, which is true. They cannot just do the census and leave it as that and think that, they are free or they don't have to pay taxes. Well, let me clarify a few things. First of all, taxes is voluntary. You don't have to be an Indian not to pay taxes. Hence the term Indian not taxed. And I agree with the brother, that term Indian not taxed, it's all deals with commerce. It deals with the federal government. Okay? Because when you call yourself an Indian, you are still under the jurisdiction of the federal government. Okay? Even if you do have a tribe or a so-called nation. So my thing is this. At the ending of the day, I know Caucasians who don't pay taxes because they know paying taxes is optional and they're not Indians. So paying taxes has nothing to do with being an Indian. Again, it's a trap. Don't get caught up with, oh, well, I'm an Indian, I'm not going to pay taxes. No, period. I'm a man and I'm not going to pay taxes because it's voluntary. Paying taxes is voluntary. How do I know? I look into nature. I don't see animals paying taxes. So I know that's not natural. So as a man that was born in the likeness and image of my creator, okay, that gave me dominion over everything on earth, I choose not to pay taxes, and nobody could force me to pay taxes. It's a choice. Okay? It's a choice. So that knocks out the whole debate about Indian not taxed, and you get confused over that. No need to get confused because, again, paying taxes is voluntary. It's even on their applications. It's even on their website. Okay? So once again, please, when you are teaching people, you have to make sure that you have the information and you know the context of delivering the message. Okay? That's number one. Number two, part of the message in the series of videos is telling American Aborigines that call themselves Indians that you cannot set up a tribe. You cannot set up a tribe or a nation if you don't have ties that go back and prove that, you have a treaty that goes past pre-colonial times. In essence, that's a yes and no. But the truth of the matter is, if you're dwelling on that, then again, you are playing the colonizer's game, because now you are saying that the only way for you to set up your own tribe or nation or be a chief of your nation is to get permission from the colonizers or the invaders. So you are playing their game. In other words, you are looking for permission from the colonizers to be acknowledged as an American Aborigine or a so-called American Indian. So if you choose to do the census, remember, I told y'all the etymology of the word census. The census is not an American Aborigine thing. So nobody could force us to do the census. That's number one. Nobody could force us to vote. That's number two. Nobody could force us to pay taxes. That's number three. Because we lived in nature. Okay? We had a symbiotic relationship with nature. We took care of nature and nature took care of us. Okay? Now, if we look at again the etymology of the word census, it says, and go look it up yourself, census, a noun, in 1610, in reference to registration and taxation in Roman history, from Latin census, the enrollment of the names and property assessments of all Roman citizens. Like I told y'all before, we are being governed by Rome, but y'all don't want to believe me. Originally, past participle of sincere to asses, see censor. The modern use of census as official enumeration of the inhabitants of a country or state with details begins in the US in 1790. So before 1790, we didn't have any census. We didn't have to prove to anybody who we were. On paper, that is. Okay, we didn't have to prove to anybody who we were. We didn't have to go check a little box and say, well, hey, I'm an American Indian. No, because we didn't have those things. We were who we were. In other words, I am that I say I am. So please stop confusing our people or making things more difficult for them than it already is. Again, keep it simple. It is not complicated. It is not complicated. So to tell our people, if you go put American Indian on the census, it doesn't make you free. That's true. I agree with that. But then it doesn't mean that you could use Indian not tax. I agree with that, because you are still part of the federal construct. I agree with that. However, paying taxes is voluntary. So you don't have to pay taxes whether you're an Indian or Caucasian, an Asian or whatever, an African. It don't matter, because it's a voluntary system. Okay? And as the Aborigines, we definitely are not supposed to pay taxes. All right? Now, another discussion in the video was talking about that if you don't have a tribe, okay, if you have to set up a tribe with a name that was connected, or a name that was being used before, before the colonizers, okay, and that have a treaty or recognized by the US or the United States. Well, let me ask you a question. We've been on this landmass called the Americas from time immemorial. So I'm assuming we've been here for over 60,000 years. So let me ask you a question. 60,000 years, what did we call ourselves? I guarantee you all the names that we call ourselves right now, it is not the name we call ourselves 60,000 years ago. So at the ending of the day, no name is really original up to this present day. Okay, so if you choose today, you know that you're an Aborigine, your parents told you that you're an Aborigine, guess what? Then you could set up your own tribe. Stop looking for recognition and permission from these colonizers to determine who we are. That's number one. Okay, in that argument, or yes, that argument. Okay, another thing that was being said was you have to go back to your bloodline family. In other words, they are saying that their family have certain lands, okay, that they were on before the colonizers came. And then you cannot come and say, well, you want this tract of land, or you want this tract of land without it being tied to your blood. Well, let me tell you something. Let me teach you something about the American Aborigines, the people who call themselves, or they called American Indians. We didn't own lands. The land owned us. In other words, we didn't lay any claim to the land because we realized that the Most High gave us the land for each and every one of us. So by you claiming land and telling others if they cannot tie back their bloodline, their family bloodline, then that means they cannot get land, or they're going to get into some situations. You are playing the game of the colonizer. You are playing the divide and conquer, because if you could afford to get some land because you could trace your bloodline and I can't because of paper genocide. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of paper genocide, but they made us extinct on paper. Example, Walter Ashby Plecker, eugenics. Okay, and a lot of people cannot trace their lineage. So what are you telling these American Aborigines who cannot trace their lineage? That, oh, well, I could get land, but you can't? What do you think is going to happen? The people who can't get land and the people who can't eat, they're going to come take it from you. So again, you are playing the divide and conquer that the colonizers have been playing for centuries. Stop. The land doesn't belong to you. It belongs to us, the people, because we belong to the land. So stop saying, well, this is my land because my grandfather was the chief of that land. Let me tell y'all something. You will lose it, because when the war break out, people who don't have is going to take from those who have. And that's just the honest truth. So instead of preaching unity, You are preaching division because a lot of people cannot trace their lineage. Again, because of paper genocide. They have destroyed our resources. They have destroyed our truth. The paper, the paper trail to prove who we are. They have destroyed it. So how are you going to do it by blood? How are you going to do it? And here's another thing. We don't have blood types. Again, that is a divide and conquer tactic that the colonizers use, the invaders use to separate us. Okay? I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but the word Cherokee is not the original word. That is a term and a word that was given to these people. Okay? Our ancestors, some of them, some of the Aborigines, they call them Cherokee. That's the colonizer's term. But the actual word is Aniyonwiya. 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 And it means the principal people. Hence, these people are the direct descendants of the Anunnaki people, the Ani people. Because we are descendants of the Anunnaki. And the Anunnaki, we don't have blood types. Again, that's a divide and conquer. So if you are telling people the only way for them to claim land, okay, or to set up a tribe, they have to go back to their blood family. That's not true. Or else you would just be a band of tribes. Well, let me ask you a question. What was the Iroquois Confederacy? What was a lot of the Algonquin, a lot of the Creek, a lot of the Seminoles? Okay, a lot of those people were bands of Indians because we were already losing our identity. So they band together and they created what's called tribes and nations. So stop telling people if they have a band, meaning that if you don't know what your lineage is, but you know you're an Aborigine and you happen to go be a part of a nation, even if you guys are not blood related, then that don't count. Well, let me tell you something that is far from the truth. Because even on DRIP, it says that every indigenous individual have a right to self-identify, individual or group. But because you guys are preaching the divide and conquer tactic that the colonizers are using, you are creating problems. You are creating problems. Okay? So I wanted to address that. Once again, paying taxes is voluntary. It is a voluntary system. Having social security numbers is a voluntary system. Buying food is voluntary. You could grow your own food. Once again, how do I know? I don't see animals buying food. I don't see animals paying rent. I don't see animals paying taxes. So we have to get this, okay? It is not complicated, brothers and sisters. We make it complicated. You see, we letting too much ride on what we call, how would I put it? On looking for acceptance from the colonizers, in our home. If I'm an Aborigine, like I am, yes, I know they're making it hard for us, but I'm not going to allow you to tell me this is not who I am because I cannot trace my lineage. Because you know damn well what your people did. Okay? They destroy our paperwork. Okay? They destroy our history. They forced us to assimilate. They change our identity. And because one or two people know their family and their roots and they could tie it back to a land, here you are telling other people, well, guess what? I can't do it, but you can. No, you are asking for war, man. You are asking for war. That's not how we do that. Because the people I know me for a fact. I could trace my lineage. I know I'm an American Aborigine. However, I know some of the lands that my ancestors are from. I don't know all of it. Okay, but I know some of it. Okay? I know some of it. But the point I'm trying to make is there are millions of us who can't trace any of their lineage, period, but they know that they're American Aborigines. How do you tell these people that they cannot band together and create a nation and it's not going to be recognized by these people? Why? Because we are looking for recognition from them. This is our land. This is our land. We don't need permission from nobody to be who we are. We don't need permission from anybody to be who we are in our land. And that's what you are giving them. Okay? When you start talking like that. When you start talking like that. The truth of the matter is we are all one family. Okay? We don't have blood types. We are the original people of this planet. Whether you want to Homo sapien sapien. Okay, you tell me what other people you came from beside that. So at the ending of the day, we came from the same stock. But people always trying to show that they are better than somebody else. Oh, they have more than somebody else. They could claim something that somebody else can't claim. Well, let me tell y'all something. You cannot claim the lands like that and tell other Aborigines that they can't because they can't tie it to their bloodline. No. Again, you are asking for war. The land belongs to everybody. Because that's what the Most High gave it to us for. So that we could dwell on the land. So that we could live off the land. So the more we preach unity, I believe is the key. That's the key, unity. And yes, even if you have a nation that wasn't a name of a nation when the colonizers came, it doesn't mean that yours is irrelevant. Based on whose determination? Based on whose determination? The invaders, the colonizers? Again, you're giving them power over you. Okay? You are giving them power over you. I am the original man of this land. So if I want to call myself the Napa Napa tribe, then that's what the hell I want to call myself. And they have a right to respect it. So stop giving these people ammunition over us, man. Stop giving them jurisdiction over us. That's a problem. That is a problem. Because even right now, okay, one of the Cherokee tribes in Oklahoma, the chief is, whether he call himself native or not, but he looks like a Caucasian to me. And guess what? The man is only 126 Indian of Indian blood. I'm talking 126 of Indian blood, but yet still he's the chief. So what are you telling me? You see, you people are always trying to fight the wrong battle against your own people. Always trying to discriminate and separate against your own people, but not take the war to the people who are invading us. Not take the war to the people who are taking our places. The man is 126 of so-called Indian blood, but yet still he's the chief of the biggest Cherokee nation. I don't hear nobody talking about that. But you want to discriminate against brothers and sisters who cannot find their bloodline and their roots, but they know they're Aborigines. Telling them they can't claim or they have no claim. Says who? Says the colonizers? Because you could trace your blood? Nah, man. This belongs, the Americas belong to us. Okay, it is home to the American Aborigine. And if I want to say I want to live in New York, I want land in New York, I will get land in New York. If I want to get land in Alabama, the Caribbean, that, or in Russia as well. Because guess what? I'm an Aborigine of the planet. In China as well. Because why? I'm an Aborigine of the planet. You see, we have to stop playing with these labels. We have to stop playing with these labels. That's where the divide and conquer comes in. That's where it comes in. Because now, a group of brothers and sisters who feel they don't have a bloodline, they can't trace anything, but they know they're Aborigines. All the government have to do is go pay them to come take care of your ass. And they will take care of you. Because you feel like, hey, you know what? This is mine because my grandfather was the chief here. Now it don't work like that, man. Okay? Those days are gone. Now we have a common enemy and we have to come together as one people. All right, as one people. Yes, we could have our different tribes and nations, but come together as one people with a common problem and deal with the situation. Stop with the divide and conquer. And that's my message. Okay, that is my message. Because we are making it too difficult. We are making it too complicated. It's not that complicated. All right, it's not that complicated. A lot of people cannot trace their ancestry or their lineage past the 1800s because of paper genocide. And paper genocide is real. So what are you telling these people? What? They cannot do anything? They don't deserve anything? Because the colonizers destroyed their lineage? Destroyed their identity? Come on, man. Get off this high horse and this ego, man. And step down a little bit. And realize that we all in this together. All right, this is our home. We belong to the land. The land don't belong to us. We belong to the land. And that was the practice and the teaching of our ancestors. And that's what it means to be a true Aborigine. We don't discriminate. We don't separate ourselves from our brothers and sisters. We don't do that. We don't do that. I'm fighting for all Aborigines. Okay? And once again, paying taxes is voluntary. You don't have to use Indian not tax. No, that's playing their game. That's playing their game. Because once you start playing their game and starting to fall underneath their terms, remember, Indian is a term that they gave us. So they still have jurisdiction over that word. So they could change the rules anytime. How do I know? Can I prove it? Of course. We had how many treaties with these people? Over 500 and something treaties. They haven't honored not one. You can't trust the pale man. So what are you here telling my people about? Oh, well, the federal government this and the federal government, the census this, man. To hell with all that, man. We need to stand up together and stand up and defend ours. Reclaim ours. Because everybody always wants this chip on their shoulder. Well, okay, well, you know, because my father was a chief, I'm a chief. Well, okay, great. Guess what? I was born a chief. Every man and woman is a chief of his own domain. Every man and woman is a god. So what are you talking about, man? Like, I'm just saying, like, for real, we have to stop, yo. We have to stop. I'm not putting anybody over me, and I'm not putting myself over anybody. Yes, I am called chief because I have taken the role of leadership to do certain things. It doesn't mean that I'm better than my brother or my sister. No, I want to walk with my brothers and sisters. That's it. I want to walk with them because I don't want nobody following me. I want to walk with them. I want to build with them. We got work to do, and I'm tired of the divide and conquer. So for the record, whether you're an Indian or not, or you call yourself Indian or not, or Aborigine or not, paying taxes is voluntary. Okay? And you could, yes, you could get a group of people, whether they are your bloodline or not, and you could decide, you know what? We want to form a nation. We want to form a tribe. And it's a band of Indians or so-called Indians. And it's up to you to make sure that you put pressure on them for them to respect it. This is our land. This is our home. And we should not look to them for permission to do any damn thing. As long as we are not hurting anybody, we are not defrauding anybody, then we haven't broken any laws. We have a right to self-identify. Period. Bottom line. So once again, I'm looking for the people who are ready to make these moves. I ain't got time to be playing around, man. We got work to do. I'm looking for the serious people. I'm looking for 200 to 300 people who are ready to put in that work. Come together. Let's make some things happen. Okay? I see Caucasians. I see Asians. I see, Arabs coming here, getting land, getting stores, getting gas stations. They're not Aborigines, but they're getting all that though. So how come they're getting all that? But as an Aborigine, oh, well, you have to go back to your blood family to get something? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. And I'm not going to apologize for my language, man, because y'all getting me tight with the bullshit. For real. So once again, I am looking for the people who are serious about this. Okay? Tired of playing the games? Let's keep it simple. My email is in the link below. Send me an email. Let's get your shit together. Get your paperwork together, man. Let's do this shit. Let's do it. All right? Anyway. Chief Kalanago, I'm out. Peace.